Well, hello, and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club. My name is Travis Peter, and this is episode 9. So, shit got intense last episode. Spoiler alert, but if you're watching part 9 of a series, I suppose you expect things to be spoiled if you haven't seen anything before then. Sayori hung herself, and the game started over completely, and, except now it's like the same game, except it like keeps glitching and like Sayori's missing entirely from this game. Now, I get what they're kind of going, because your character towards the end, like when your character discovers Sayori, he talks about like, if only I'd done something different. If I had done things differently, then I could have prevented this. But what it does, if you haven't noticed, if you didn't see before, it deletes all your old save files. So, yeah, so you can't go back. Like normally with these games, the idea is you keep playing over and over again until you get the ending you want, but it makes that impossible this time. And so, which is an interesting choice, an interesting thing to do. So we'll continue. I'm hoping things are decent. From what I understand, okay, between this last episode and this episode, I did read a little bit. I'm still trying, I tried not to spoil anything, and I don't think I have, but obviously this was supposed to happen. The game's not broken, but I wasn't questioning that, but apparently this is like halfway through the game, so I'm hoping from here on the rest is like different enough that, I don't know, that we're not just, because like a lot of this has been the same so far, and as much as I've loved reading this all, we need some variety if we're going to progress in a game, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's continue. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Travis, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? I know I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasp at something I can relate to at a minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. Suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I can't really put it down. A surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind. Oh, you left a piece of scrap paper behind last meeting. Looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud, and give that back. Fine, Natsuki. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Oh, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Oh, that's not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have any writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I got an idea. How about this? Eh? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our very own. The next time we all meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Was Sayori the vice president before? And now Yuri is and Sayori doesn't exist? Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Travis? Hold on, there's still one problem. Eh? What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monica may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought, Yeah, the girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Travis. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4, and I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one more before the festival, I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I'd feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed, so if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Travis? Yeah. It could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I'd be super pissed off at you. Oh, Travis, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? That sounded suggestive. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment? Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Travis, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then, darling. Can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, then I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. So are we going back right into like, you have unlocked a special poem, would you like to read it? What the fuck? It's never done this before. A dream. I was wandering in an abandoned warehouse at night. I was lost, looking for an exit. I just wanted to go home. I came upon a huge empty room, its ceiling and walls beyond the deep blackness. My steps were quick in order to hurry to the other side. Or to a wall. Anything. Suddenly, the ground was no longer beneath my feet. I stepped into a hole of an indeterminate width. I fell for a good 5 seconds before crashing into warm water. Figuring out which way was up, I surfaced myself. The air was humid, and the sounds of my splashing reverberated endlessly. My vision was completely swallowed by the dark. With one hand, I could feel the damp metal wall of the container. My lungs were already getting tired. Good lord. That was a dark fucking poem. Oh, okay. Well, I guess so. I guess I could just continue trying to woo Yuri? Frightening, variance, incongruent, heaven sent, after image. Okay, I'm pretty good at guessing Yuri now. Although I think some of those used to belong to Sayori, and now she's not an option anymore. So I don't wonder if that affects things. I'm assuming there's different endings in this game. I'm really confused. I know that Sayori dies no matter what you do. So like it always gets to this point. Hi again, Travis. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. See, here's the thing. Normally with these, like, you can skip. There's this skip option here. And, like, so you can, if you're playing the same part over again, you can skip all the stuff you've seen, and it'll only show you, like, the new stuff based on, like, whatever new choices you're making this time around. And a lot of this is the same, but it's not letting me skip anything. It's last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Anyway, oh, Yuri is glitching. Thanks for keeping your promise, Travis. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, Lord, that gave me goosebumps. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Oh, and now her sprite is blocking the words. Natsuki, a big mouth of someone who keeps blah, blah, blah. I can't even read this. Monica. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga's literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Travis. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have an interest in picking up a book to read? Well, I can't really say no to either. Like you said, I'm in the club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. Oh, no, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be part of this club, so even if I don't read often, I'll be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. Also, the background, I don't know if this was like this last time, but I just realized the background is tilted. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book that she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I'll definitely read this. Enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Oh, and now it's like back to normal. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she's waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. Catch a glimpse of the cover of a book. It looks like the same book she lent me. More than that, she seemed to be on the first few pages. Ah, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. That only makes me hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I'm just kind of like speeding through some of the stuff we've already seen. I was just spacing out. I mutter this just because, we need to get to some new shenanigans here. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place, but I'm just rereading a bit of this, so. That's the book that you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it, not for any particular reason. Just curious how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is entitled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Ooh, that might be a bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean, not the thing about the limbs. It's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came out of nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Travis? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri's into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just this kind of story. It's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. Like this game. This game is challenging you to look at life from a different perspective. Oh, I just realized I'm like really dipping down in the in the frame. Anyway, When horrible things happen, it's not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Oh, okay. There's some new words. That's got some new different font on it. Also, I think it's interesting because I think it gives, like, I think you're supposed to look at like a lot of this, like replaying this part, like a lot of this from like a new perspective now. It's a clever game. Then suddenly, I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's all right then, but I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body gets so— I don't know what that said. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. All right, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slipped in the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in the company of someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting or anything. All right. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I was just bathing in the feeling of your body heat. Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? Also, I'm not like clicking that. It just appears and sort of disappears right away. So, I mean, at least when I review this, I can pause it to see what some of the stuff I missed said, which you can also do because you're watching a recorded video. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Feels like my left arm is in the way, so I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes— I was just trying to see if there's anything weird in this shot now. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the side of the book between her thumb and her forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she's finished the page. I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as it catches under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri? This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. So like the bodies, like the dismembering bodies and putting them together and stuff like that. That's what she does. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head. I think this is a little different too, because last time didn't she like make it seem like she hadn't read the book? Because they're like when I asked her what it was about, she like read the back of the book to me. But now she's like, we haven't gotten to that part yet. Yuri, are you feeling all right? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. I could be also completely wrong about that. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hand on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. All right, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Travis, did something happen just now? Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. All right, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start sharing our poems with each other? Eh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it into my bag. Interesting. So last time Yuri was around. Okay. Let's go Monica then. I'm gonna save the game. So I wonder if the poems are gonna be the same. Because it's offering me the chance to skip. I should start with Monica. Yesterday she seemed eager to read my poem, and I want her to know I'm putting in effort. Hi Travis, having a good time so far? Yeah, good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities, the things we can do better, I'm always listening, darling. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your little old poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Travis. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. And Monica, my poem. Great job, Travis. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. Not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. Oh, it's easy expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. Oh, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that it's a bad thing, though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Oh, now she's British. We all started sharing our poems with each other. Eh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize, sugar. We have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. All right. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. Doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Oh, is this the same poem as before? Hole in the wall, but he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? They sound frantic. The sound of frantic scrawling, playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So what do you think, darling? It's very freeform. That's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style's gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been put emphasis on the timer between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. Was that the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Is she like a witch? And is she like controlling things or something? Because now I'm wondering if like... Because in the last, like before it reversed, wasn't there like something going on with like this guy? And like this, now there's this poem, and I think this is the same poem from last time, but like, is she talking about me? And so like, is this, okay, theory time, don't tell me if I'm right or wrong. But like normally with this, you sort of with a game like this, me as the player, like you manipulate the game in order to get the outcome that I want. So like I replay it, but in this case, the game is manipulating me. So is Monica like the game sort of like come to life and is like trying to manipulate me, the character. And so it, rather than me going back and manipulating the game to a past save to try to make the outcomes, it deletes the save, so it takes that choice away from me as the player. Theory, I don't know what this symbol, this is, these like quote, theory quotes. Anyway, that's my theory right now, what I'm sort of gathering from all this. Anyway, that's everything. So I'm gonna end this video here. I'm so interested. I was gonna stop filming. I think I might film another one yet tonight. But anyway, make sure to like this video and click subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, because it's getting weirder and weirder every time. Let me know down in the comments. What do you think of her green eyes? There are, excuse me, I've got hiccups now. They're very lovely. She has lovely green eyes. And that's everything. Oh, also follow me on Twitch. I stream twice a week on Twitch, so if you like my gaming content here, it's even gayer there. And so you can go to Twitch at twitch.tv/TravisPeterGames, or the link is below, and follow me there, and then we can hang out live. We can hang out IRL. It's been a good group of us hanging out for each of my streams, and so we can get to know each other a little better, hang out, and have some laughs and gaffs and loofs and troops and glitches and switches and ditches and bitches. So yeah, come have those things with me. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.